Hey guys, it's Roscoe, and on the Space Couch today, Colin Trevorrow is out as director of Episode 9. This is another directorial change from Lucasfilm. So I don't know what's going on there, because there seem to have been issues, I think, on all of the films, apart from, as far as we know, The Last Jedi. Michael Arndt, I think it was, the original writer for Force Awakens, he got chucked out. Obviously, Lord and Miller on the Han Solo film, they've been chucked out just as they were about to finish, and they brought in Ron Howard, who personally, for me, I find this film's a bit dull, but hey ho, let's see what he makes of it. Then obviously there are all the reshoots on Rogue One. I assume Gareth Edwards would have been sacked if he hadn't agreed to it, but he did agree to it and he stayed on. And I loved Rogue One, it was great, although such a shame we didn't see some of those shots that we saw in the trailers that were cut because of the reshoots. And of course now we have this, Colin Trevorrow is out. It's the usual creative differences that they said, so who knows what was really going on. Given the timelines, it's supposedly coming out in May 2019, episode 9. I wouldn't be surprised if it does get pushed back to December, but there is just about enough time for them to still make that original date. If they were supposed to be starting filming at the beginning of next year, 2018, which is essentially what they've done with each of them so far, it films just after the previous one comes out. They would have already started building sets, be deep into pre-production, all of that sort of thing, locations being scouted, all the concept work and art, all that sort of thing. There's just about enough time for a new director to come in and grasp hold of all of it and still start shooting in January. Now, obviously, everyone says, oh, Rian Johnson should do it. And yes, I'd be happy with that because, obviously, I mean, everything we saw in the trailer for Last Jedi was great, but it was the behind-the-scenes reel that really motivated me for it. What I saw in there got me much more excited than the actual trailer did. Can't wait for another trailer. Hurry up, Ryan. We want to see some more footage. So I don't know if he had anything lined up after The Last Jedi, but obviously he's still involved in The Last Jedi. So it's one of those things, is it easier to essentially just segue into the next one? Or will the fact he has to split time between the two impact both of them? I don't know. Obviously, others say J.J. Abrams. I've also heard that that's not going to happen. And there's so many other people's names have been thrown into the hat. Anyone who's directed a Star Wars film and is still alive, basically. But we shall see. I guess we'll find out in due course. Given that the deadline for starting filming is rapidly approaching, as you would think, any decision on whether or not to move the release date, they're going to have to make a decision soon. So I guess we'll find out in due course who the next director of Star Wars Episode 9 is going to be. Who do you think it's going to be, guys? Do you think it might be Rian Johnson or one of the other names that's been mentioned? It might be someone completely out of the hat. But given that they've said they want to try all these new, young, exciting directors, and it doesn't really seem to work out, they bring in the old, experienced hands either to take over completely or to work behind the scenes. I guess we'll find out in due course. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment suggestion for a upcoming topic you'd like to see discussed, or like the video.